A very good afternoon to all, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is the 24th April 2025, day 1. We are commencing our retreat officially from this moment onward. We will wait for the rest of the offerings. Can somebody light the candle? Or light the candle. Pamasuri, sorry, Brother, come. A song and Chinho also come. Help to light the candle. We will have our official puja, opening puja, followed by briefing by me. So while they light the thing and prepare for the offering, I will just brief you all. Turn to page 2 of the retreat program, 2:30 to 4:15. So this is supposed to be the official schedule. Opening puja, followed by briefing by me. The briefing will be very comprehensive, covering retreat objective, essence of Buddha's teaching, and why Buddhism. Then meditation instruction on how to develop the 5 spiritual faculties of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya, so that you can use it to counter the 5 mental hindrances of mind to develop the meditation. Meditation instruction will include detailed explanation of what meditation is and how to develop the second turning, Dhamma contemplation wisdom, to enable one to meditate with understanding. Note, cultivation to include the establishment of a proper daily religious routine leading to a sustained period of continuous mindfulness leading to heedfulness. This is a must to develop good progress. Okay, we can now maybe gather. You form a big circle. Those who are more senior, they can come in front here. Then the rest all form a big circle until here. We are going to pass the puja offering around. You all can rejoice. So as we start, we will rejoice. If it's too small, you spread out a bit. Make the circle bigger so that everybody is comfortable. Just side by side. Okay. Asui, 过来. Okay. Maybe I will ring this, then we will commence the puja offering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Then let us compose our mind, develop the Saddha, Virya. Then mindfully we shall commence the official puja. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。นะโม佛菩萨 อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิ สวากาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนามัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามิ Okay, we will have to take refuge. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Okay, you all can be seated. Then you all can request for today. I think every one of us is on 5 precepts because the dinner is sponsored by our common fund. Oh, Prachan, okay. So anyway, we will make the official request. Ingbi will help. You all recite after her. You turn to your original retreat chanting book. Okay, turn to page 1. So Ingbi will lead you. You all can request for Mayang Bante. Mayang Mita.
Requesting for 3 refuges and 5 precepts. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Together, Mayang Mitta Tisaranena Saha Pancha Silani Yachama Dutiyampi Mayang Mitta Tisaranena Saha Pancha Silani Yachama Tatiyampi Mayang Mitta Tisaranena Saha Pancha Silani Yachama.
Okay. Now we will comment on our taking of the 5 precepts. Tomorrow, for those who are on 8 precepts, you can take your 8 precepts. But tonight, or this evening onward, we will go for the 5 precepts. So I will lead you all. We chant together. Panati pata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami kamesu miccacara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Surameraya majapamadatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Okay, now I will read to you the significance of these precepts. Imani pancha sikhapadani silena suganti yanti silena bhoga sampadan silena nibbunti yanti tasma silang visode. The meanings are, these are the 5 precepts. Virtue or precepts is the source of spiritual happiness. Virtue or precept is the source of true spiritual wealth. Lastly, virtue or precept is the source of true spiritual peacefulness of mind. Therefore, let this virtue and precept be kept and purified. Then I will recite the 5 precepts significant. Imani pancha sikhapadani samadhiyami. You repeat, repeat.
Imani pancha sikhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikhapadani samadhiyami.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we all can pay respect. Triple jam. Bedang pujemi. Dhammang pujemi. Sanghang pujemi. Those who haven't received a copy of the program, the hard copy, you can come forward and get it in front here. Yeah? Okay. For those who already have, turn to page 1, so that I will read to you all the main purpose and intent of this retreat. Before that, there is an introduction. So, meditation retreat at Mahayana Sampo Temple, Brinchang, Cameron Highland, dated 24 April, Thursday, which is today, until the 2nd of May, Friday, 2025, as conducted by me. So basically, this meditation retreats, Dhamma sharing, is suitable for all participants who may be from different backgrounds or Buddhist tradition with varying meditation experiences. The emphasis here is on the understanding of the Buddha Dhamma and the awareness-based meditation as taught by the Buddha, instead of focusing on methods and techniques of meditation. This program was prepared to allow participants to settle down slowly into the retreat proper, via a less stringent first session, where more Dhamma sharing and understanding will be emphasized, followed by a more stringent second session, which is from 28th of April till the 2nd of May, 2025, where noble silence, heedfulness, and the actual meditative training will be emphasized. So here, noble silence means not only you don't talk. When you don't talk means you keep quiet, but it is not a noble silence. Noble silence means internally there is no mental chattering, or what we call verbalization from within. Although you don't talk, but the mundane mind keep on chattering and verbalize and create a lot of unnecessary, heedless dialogue and thinking. Yeah. So this is not the way to train your mind. Yeah? So noble silence means complete silence. the mind is completely still, tranquil, and just aware most of the time. Okay, after understanding the introduction, now we move on to the main purpose and intent. Pay attention. The main purpose and intent is to understand and realize the noble teaching of Lord Buddha. We are sincerely cultivating the much needed heedfulness, or apamada, as emphasized by the Buddha in his Dhammapada verses 1, 21, 22, and 23, and also his final advice to the monks on apamadena sampadeta before his parinibbana. Then the second main purpose and intent is to train ourselves during the meditation retreat session to develop a very stable daily mindfulness or silent mind with pure inner awareness, leading to heedfulness from the moment we commence our retreat, which is from today, early morning when you wake up. To diligently maintain noble silence of mind and speech during the retreat duration. Then to cultivate sati sampajana, or mindfulness and clear comprehension of sincerity of purpose, domain of meditation, suitability, and non-delusion, as a sign of our respect for the Sampo Temple way place. Then number 3, learn to be at ease, naturally relaxed and aware via heedfulness most of the time. Always move, speak and act naturally, but with inner awareness throughout the day to stabilize your 5 spiritual faculties, cultivation, until they become very stable and unshakable. Then number 4, with the stable daily mindfulness or awareness nature within, use it to cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path via constant creative contemplation, reflection, and inquiry into the Four Noble Truths, leading to the perfection of all the Noble Eightfold Path factors of right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right living or livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right samadhi, so that you are incapable of any evil whenever you are heedful. Then, to maintain this heedfulness or apamada training throughout the day, so that we can have the condition to insight into the 3 universal characteristics of nature to awaken, or in bracket, to realize the insight, knowledges and wisdom needed to liberate the mind, leading to the realization of Nibbana, or cessation of form and mind as taught by Lord Buddha. Then number 5, to diligently develop the understanding of the following essential Dhamma as taught by the Buddha. The 5 mental hindrances or pancha nivaranas, the 5 spiritual faculties or pancha indriyas, the 3 evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion, the 3 right views, kama niyama, citta niyama and dhamma niyamas, the 12 links, the Four Noble Truths, the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths, the 4 foundations of mindfulness, the 7 factors of enlightenment, or satta bhujanga, then dana, sila, and bhavana, and the 5 daily contemplations. Number 6, to silence our mundane mind. So you must understand the difference between your mundane thinking mind, or what we call the heedless thinking mind that wanders off very fast and create a lot of mental chattering, verbalization, and even heedless thinking. Yeah. So that mind we need to train. So to train, you need to silence this mundane mind so that you can finally realize the true mind. So this step is very important so that you are constantly aware within. You have to understand the difference between the mundane mind and the true mind. The true mind is your original primordial mind, which is just pure awareness nature without thought. But the moment it creates thought through whatever causes and conditions, it transforms into the mundane mind, or what we call your thinking mind. Yeah. So this mundane mind is without wisdom. It thinks a lot. It is heedless. It is not aware. Because of that, you cannot meditate. You cannot understand the teaching. Because to understand the teaching, you have to be in the state of sati, which is mindfulness. And what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is just an awareness before the knowing. The moment you know, the moment you perceive, the moment you start to create thinking, sankhara activity, or what we call mind states, then the mundane mind has arisen or arisen. Then you cannot see things as they are. You cannot be with the moment in silent awareness to observe, to insight into phenomena, to awaken. Because man can only do one thing at a time. Either you are lost in thought, preoccupied with what you are thinking, or you are without thought, completely silent. Then you are in a state of pure awareness without thought. That is your silent mind. That is your meditative mind. That is the mindfulness or sati that the Buddha meant. So that is the most important understanding. So to silence your mundane mind, to realize the true mind so that you are constantly aware within, without thought, is very important. Then to stabilize this silent mind or your meditative mind until the enlightenment factor of pasati. Pasati is the fifth enlightenment factor, which is tranquility and stillness of mind, arises. This is your true mind, and your true mind is without thought, therefore is tranquil and still. If there is movement, means it has thought inside. The aggregates of mind are there. When it is without thought, there is just an awareness nature within. So this one is very useful. Yeah? So pasati is when your mind becomes so quiet, so still. It is tranquil and still, peaceful, calm. And that is the stability of mindfulness that you need. Where this is your true mind, you need to realize this, stabilize this, so that you can be in this state most of the time throughout the day. Then you will understand, you will awaken. Then there is another part that follows. To establish a very good daily religious routine for the cultivator to develop a very stable daily mindfulness when they revert back to their normal day-to-day cultivation after the 9 days retreat, after our decennial retreat, where you have to return to normal life. Go back to normal life where many of you need to do your duties, need to work, need to maybe develop all sorts of life activity that you need to establish or resolve them. So all this will lead the cultivator back to their usual heedless thinking condition. If you come for retreat, you are able to train yourself for a while. Then when you return to normal life, you cannot maintain that heedfulness of mind, which means you become heedless again. Then you don't stand much chance in penetrating the teaching. Unless your past life you have developed it, then at the retreat something happened to you. But for people who have that ability or that past, immediately after that, when they return to normal daily life, they will know what to do. They will maintain their stability of mindfulness and awareness, and they will understand clearly what that true mind is. That's why they will transform. Then the last part is, this one is just for you all to check as a checklist. Books to bring along. The Hearth Sutra short note, we will be going through it later. Second edition, chanting book. There is a normal version and a retreat version. Then the three latest books that I have developed as transcript and we have printed them, they are Unique Dhamma Code, the purple book. There are two more books, Cultivating the Bodhisattva Way, blue book, and my Unique Dhamma Code, straight from the heart, the purple book. Then his latest three new books, Difference Between Awareness and Consciousness, Path to Nibbana, and Ultimate Realization to Transcend Life. Then of course retreat program, we have the e-copy and the hard copy will be distributed to all retreatants at the retreat. So whoever who don't have, you can collect from me. It's in front here. I think there are still quite a number haven't received. Or maybe you all have printed your own, then it's okay. Otherwise you can have one. Okay, so with that, we will officially go back to our program so that we can establish the sharing. Okay, page 2. We're supposed to continue from here. We have finished our opening puja, then the briefing by me. So I have covered retreat objective. Then now I will move on to essence of the Buddha's teaching. And why Buddhism. I think this topic should interest the new people. Most Buddhists, they may not have the clear understanding of how unique and how special this Buddhist teaching is all about. The Buddha called his teaching the Dhamma. So this word Dhamma is very unique. So this word Dhamma is very unique word because he is the Buddha. That's why we call it the Buddha Dhamma. So basically Dhamma, the meaning is truth. So what is the essence of the Buddha's teaching? What is the essence of the Buddha's teaching? Yes, very good. The Four Noble Truths. So this essence of the Buddha's teaching is very important. So this Four Noble Truths is called Noble Truth. That is the uniqueness of his teaching. Because of his uniqueness, Because the Buddha is not only an enlightened being, he is a fully enlightened being, complete in enlightenment. Means he has completed all form of cultivation leading to this, what we call Samma Sambuddhahood. And that makes him the fully enlightened one. Means he is perfect in wisdom and virtue. And because he is perfect in wisdom and virtue, you can say when he arrives, he is the most virtuous and most wise living being ever born. And because of his unique quality, he can summarize to us all of life, both the mundane and the supramundane, so that we understand clearly the secret of life. So this one, the uniqueness is, it is the secret of life. And this secret of life covers both mundane and supramundane aspect. Why is it important? It is important because if you don't understand the secret of life, you cannot live life. Now you see the point. Yeah? So the secret means, if I understand this Four Noble Truths, I understand all of life, both mundane and supramundane. Mundane are the worldly life that we witness as we are born a human being and we have gone through all this life. This we call the mundane life. But when you develop the meditation, following his teaching, you can develop a type of realization, we call it the enlightenment. Then your mind transforms and become the supramundane, means beyond the mundane. So the aspect that is beyond the mundane is the most difficult to comprehend. Well, that is the mind that has penetrated the wisdom and trigger of the understanding. So this supramundane aspect of life, only the enlightened being can understand. And the Buddha being the fully enlightened one, perfect in wisdom and virtue, he understands both very, very completely. Yeah. And because of that, it makes his teaching very special. Yeah. And to be able to have a teacher that is of this uniqueness and wisdom and virtue that he has developed through his cultivation and perfection over eons and eons of birth and death is truly, I should say, blessed and unique. And you will have a lot of gratitude and faith in him, because to have him as your teacher and guide, you will be truly blessed. So that's why this teaching is not just ordinary teaching. Then he used the word noble. Here, noble has its great significance. It's not just ultimate teaching or universal teaching or whatever teaching. It's called noble teachings, noble truth. Which means when you understand this Four Noble Truths, you not only understand the secret of life, you become noble ones. And noble ones during the Buddha's time are called Aryas. So these Aryas, they are very noble in all aspects of life. So noble ones during the Buddha's time are called enlightened ones. They are very noble in all aspects of their understanding of life. That's why you look at the Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold Path are the embodiments of the enlightened one. That's why the first noble quality is they have right view. They have understanding of truth. That's why their views are perfect, right. And because of that, they are able to arise the right thought. Because right view condition right thought. Then right thought, being the basis of life, condition your right speech, right action, and the way you live your life. That's why if your view is wrong, your thought will be wrong. And when your thought is wrong, your thought is your basis of your action and speech. The mental intention inside there condition you to deliver your speech, your communication, and the way you act accordingly. And the way you live your life also. That's why right view or right understanding leading to right thought, right speech, right action, and right livelihood. The first 5 path factors are real noble qualities of enlightenment. Then after that, because they understand the teaching, they will have the 6th path factor, which is the 4 right effort. Means they already know they cannot be heedless. They have to be heedful. And they have to be ever mindful to cultivate the 4 right effort. First is the right effort to abandon whatever wrong thought, wrong speech, wrong action, and wrong way of living that has arisen. That is the first right effort. Then the second right effort is to prevent the arising of right thought. Wrong thought, wrong speech, and wrong action, or wrong way of living your life. And to do that, you must have wisdom. Without wisdom, the second right effort cannot arise. Then the third one is for you to develop wholesomeness. The third right effort is to cultivate whatever virtue or right thought, right speech, right action that are still not in you. Yeah. Then the fourth right effort is to refine upon all this right thought, right speech, right action, and right understanding that you have developed, so that it becomes perfect. Yeah, so that you can perfect it. Yeah. That's why with this you will need sati and samadhi. So the 7th path factor is samasati, means right mindfulness, means that silent, pure awareness mind that can see things as they are, that can insight into phenomena to awaken to the 3 universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Then when you stabilize that, it becomes samadhi. Samadhi is the collected, unwavering mind, the silent mind. That is a free mind, not in a conditioned state. The one that is in the conditioned state one is different. They are still within the field of thought, like the 4th jhana and all these things. Yeah. So this explains to you why, as Buddhists, we are really blessed. And when we understand this teaching, we understand life. We can live life. We can live life to the fullest. And we can really appreciate life after that. Yeah. Then life takes a turn, there is meaning. Then you can be with the moment to experience all of the pristine beauty and wonders of life within the moment. Every moment, every instant, everything is so pristine and so beautiful, so meaningful. Then you can see the unreality of consciousness and its content. Then you can understand that this true mind, our pure awareness nature, is so different from the mundane mind, the thinking mind. That's why we can realize the Dhamma which the Buddha taught. He has within the salutation to the Dhamma explained the unique characteristic of this Dhamma. He said this Dhamma is akaliko, means beyond thought, beyond mind, timeless. No psychological thought movement. That's why it's called akaliko. There is also sanditiko, can be realized in the here and the now, before you die. Of course, the other thing, because it's the truth, it will stand up to investigation. That's why he invite you to investigate. This Dhamma is ehipaseko, then opanaiko, leading inward into our nature, through our gateway, the heart. Then pacetang veditabo vinohiti means this enlightenment or wisdom can only be realized by the wise, each for themselves. That's why if you believe you have developed the cultivation correctly, then you think you are enlightened, you better check. If all these characteristics are not there, means you have not developed the real enlightenment that the Buddha meant, which is the uniqueness of this Dhamma. Okay, so with this, maybe I will stop for a while. Do you have any question before I go into the Four Noble Truths? Anybody got any question? Anything you're not sure or haven't developed the understanding? No question. Okay, we go on. So why is this Four Noble Truths so unique and so important? Why did I say it's the secret of life? Means everything in life that you have experienced and gone through, and even for the enlightened one, the supramundane, you can discover them there. They are all there. That's why this teaching is not normal teaching. So what is the first noble truth? First noble truth is what? What is the first noble truth? The new people. I want the new people to try. That one is Pali. I know the truth of suffering. In fact, the Buddha called it the noble truth with regards to suffering. So dukkha satya is correct. So this is the first noble truth. The realities of life and existence. Means all of life and existence, they have this reality. So according to the Buddha, he summarized them into 8 realities. He said, if you don't understand this reality, then when you confront them without his teaching, then it will give rise to suffering. Or he called it dukkha. So satya is truth. Dukkha satya means prevalence of suffering. Dukkha or suffering. So this one translated literally as suffering. Or sometimes they call it unsatisfactoriness. So this is a very major portion of life. In fact, all of life is covered under this 8 reality. So the Buddha said, when you go through life, if you live long enough, you will confront all these 8 realities. And what are these 8 realities? The first 4, you have heard them before, right? Which is birth, old age, sickness, and death. So the Mahayana, they like to use this word, 生老病死. Means these are the realities of life. As long as we live life long enough, first we need to be born. Then as we go through the birth process, we will have to experience aging, then sickness, even injury, then finally we die. So these first four reality is very easy to comprehend if you reflect on it, contemplate into it. And there is also the reason why Sakyamuni Buddha decided to renounce the world and leave the palace to seek an answer to life. Yeah, when he came to see the 4 signs, you remember? The attendant explained to him. He said, first one, he saw a very sick man, very old man, haggard, very sick, and like very, very suffer, a lot of suffering. And because of that, he realized, if this is the reality, that even his youthful body one day will become old, like this very old and decayed person, where all the senses are failing it and everything is already very run down. Then disease he saw. He said, this is not what he wants. Because to him, if this will happen to him, then he has a problem. I cannot overcome old age, sickness, and finally death, where everybody has to die, according to the attendant. That's why he wants to seek an answer to this reality. Then later on, not only he found the answer to this reality, underneath the Bodhi tree, 6 years later, when he connect back and become enlightened, he realized the form and mind, the form, 5 aggregate of form and mind, which we think is what we are, the human being, is not real. That one is dependent, originating, condition, arising, cause of phenomena, not a permanent, unchanging entity, karmically conditional. That's why he awakened. Then he got no more problem with old age, sickness, and death. That's why he taught you all the 5 daily contemplation. He said you must contemplate daily, so that you develop this wisdom. He said, this body of mine, of ours, is of the nature to grow old, get sick, and finally die. For it has not gone beyond old age, sickness, and death. You can include suffering if you want. Injury if you want. So knowing this, he got no more problem, because the reality of birth, old age, sickness, and death pertain to the physical body, not his true nature. That's why with that understanding, he awakened. Then later he realized not only this condition, suffering, dukkha satcha, leading to prevalence of suffering. There's a suffering is everywhere in the midst of life and nature. But most people don't understand his teaching. That's why he said, after that, the second noble truth, there is a cause behind all suffering, or dukkha, or suffering. And this cause is basically craving, or sometimes you can say it's attachment, clinging, grasping, everything. So this craving can include clinging, grasping, attachment, etc. So when you know the cause behind suffering, and you know what is suffering, means you have the understanding to manage your life better. When you know the cause, you will not be deluded by this wrong view or wrong understanding. That's why the Buddha realized it is craving, born of attachment, clinging and grasping to the 5 aggregate of form and mind, believing that this is you. That's why this is called Sakkaya Ditthi. Sakkaya Ditthi, or self-delusion. You deludedly grasp onto this 5 aggregate of form and mind, which is the so-called human being, thinking that it's real, thinking that it's you. Then I haven't finished the 8 reality. I have only explained the first 4. I will explain the balance. Then the Buddha said, the 5th reality is when you experience separation from your loved ones, separation from your prized possession, from everything that you think you own. And you believe you exist, that's why you are real, and you can own things, have things. That's why separation from your property, your wealth, your money, your loved ones, and even things that you hold on to dearly, like your business, your whatever things that you have developed or built. So separation can happen in many ways. Yeah? Like loved one, through old age, sickness and death, they also die and they separate from you. And sometimes because of nature's disaster, calamity, nowadays very common. Yeah? You can have gas pipeline burst or tsunami, yeah, which the world has experienced. I think 20 odd years ago, 2004, I remember the great tsunami. That was the year I officially came out to teach. Then earthquake, war, economic crisis, and many other like kidnapping, all those things can lead to separation, and sometimes due to what they call relationship breakdown. They decide not to continue with the relationship. So you see a lot of couple or spouse getting divorced. Then some not married, also they create a lot of suffering, unnecessary suffering, because they want to break the relationship. So separation can occur when there is misunderstanding, when there is selfish intent. All this will happen. And for those who have gone through life, you will understand how severe the suffering can be, especially the death of your loved one who is the breadwinner, or somebody that you love so much, so dearly, where you have affection and great respect for. So all this can bring about a lot of suffering. Then during economic crisis, all your wealth, your property, you make a wrong call, you are not careful with your investment, your business, everything can just get wiped off during crisis time, economic crisis. Like now the trade war, I don't know how long it will last. Many people already panic, because it's the reality that will manifest. And all these are manifested through human mind, through the three evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. So when there is scarcity, there is grasping, clinging. Then after that, the Buddha continues, he said, the sixth reality is when you are with people whom you don't like. You know who are the people whom you don't like. Married people may know. The stepmother, the in-law. And sometimes, for no reason, step-parent and all those things, or stepmother or whatever. Then you have even in the school, the child experience bully. These are people who you don't like. Then when you go into the career field, when you work, there are bosses that are really very, very difficult to work with. They call it management by harassment and fear. They harass you to deliver and put fear into you. If you don't deliver, I'm going to sack you. I'm going to terminate your appointment. Or I'm not going to pay you anymore. So all this is part and parcel of reality. Then the seventh one is when things don't go your way, when your expectations in life are not met. So if you expect to be promoted, somebody else get promoted, you become miserable or really unhappy. You expect your good friend, your sister, your parent to love you, to understand you. But when you observe them, they are selfish. and you compare, even your ordinary friend, they care for you more than them. That's why it leads to suffering. Means when you cannot get what you want, when things don't go your way. There, in short, the Buddha say, suffering arises when you cannot get what you want. You understand? That is the seventh reality. Then the eighth one is, he summarized everything. He said, in short, it is due to your sakayaditi that condition you to believe you are real, and you grasp, cling, develop attachment and craving towards the worldly thing. That's how you suffer. So craving can be positive and negative. Craving in Pali is called tanha. Sensual craving, kama tanha. There are a lot of things that through your senses you can crave for. Like your good food and all those things. Money, wealth, all these are sensual craving. Then craving to be and craving not to be. Bhava tanha and vibhava tanha. And these three types of craving cover all this clinging, grasping, attachment, etc. That's why in the teaching, it's only one word, tanha, craving. Then all this is will condition you into suffering. And what is this five aggregate of form and mind? The two aspects of the human being or living being. For our case, it's the human being. So that one I will go into it later. The first aspect is very simple. As a human being, we have a physical body, which is a physical form. We have a consciousness tribe inside. And that is your mind. So your form and mind, the Buddha says, can be break down into the five aggregates. The physical body is the first aggregate of form. Then your mind can be subdivided into four more aggregates of mind. And to understand it is very easy, because the Buddha actually explained it in only words. And most of the Theravada tradition teaching does not know how to expand on it and develop it further, because at that time there was no writing, no recording, nothing. So what happened is, if you understand, if you have meditated, developed the pure awareness nature to understand, then you just ask yourself, what can your mind do? And the four aggregate will become very clear. Then you will understand why the Buddha is so wise. So what can your mind do? Your mind can feel. That is the aggregates of feeling, Vedana. Then your mind can perceive, true or not? So everything you come to see, hear, smell, taste, tactily, feel, all things through your sixth sense, you can perceive it. That's why perception or sanya is also an aggregate of mind. Then what else can you do? Whole day, most people do. You can think a lot. All your mental activity, your mental state, mental emotion, your planning, scheming, your cunningness, your whatever mind state. Of course, there are happy moments too, your joy, your peacefulness, your tranquility, your stillness. But there is a lot of anger, hatred, emotion, jealousy, fear, insecurity. All these are your mind states. And this, the Buddha calls sankhara. In fact, everything your mind can do, including feeling and perception, is sankhara. That's why that word sankhara is very powerful. The Buddha always used that word. Sabbe sankhara anicca. Sabbe sankhara dukkha. Sabbe dhamma anatta. Then from there, you will understand that your mind has this capability to create thought process, sankhara activity. And this is the result of the mind becoming heedless, the birth of the mundane mind. Initially, it's just pure consciousness, the pure awareness nature. Then, through causes and conditions, it stirs and it creates the movement. Then, input the content of consciousness, it becomes a thought. And that thought becomes the five aggregates of form and mind, which is the second aspect of the five aggregates of form and mind. The first aspect still got another aggregate. What else can your mind do apart from feeling, perception, and consciousness? Oh, sorry, I give you the answer. Apart from Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, your mind can also become conscious, isn't it? Because you are a conscious being, conscious of what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactily feel, think. That's why the Buddha say, Vijnanam, or consciousness is an aggregate of mind. These four, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana, they are the four aggregates of mind. Together with the physical rupa, it becomes the five aggregates. That's why he called it the form and mind, nama rupa. Okay? Then, this is just the first aspect as a human being. Then the second aspect is what the Buddha wants you to understand under the 12-link Paticca teaching. Just like I told you, your mundane mind can arise through the pure awareness nature when you input the content. So your content comes about through your aggregates of mind. So the first one is feeling, condition, craving. And because of craving, the three evil roots manifest. That's why from there, it manifests all the like and dislike, pleasant, unpleasant sense experience. Then from your views, opinion, conditioning, and belief system, which is your memory, you input the content. So what happens is, you bring in the external form into your consciousness and its content via the aggregate of perception. Whatever you perceive, like the Buddha image, the external form will enter your mind. Whatever you perceive through your senses, you bring in the external sense data or external form into your mind. That together with the four aggregates of mind also develop the five aggregates, and this is the second aspect, which is namarup, your thought process. Okay? So all this will explain to you how beautiful this teaching is. So the 8 realities cover everything, because when we go through life, when you relate this teaching to the modern youth, I think they don't want to listen to you because it's boring talking about birth, old age, sickness, and death. You say, I am still young. I got no time for all this nonsense. So you have to relate to them. But nowadays, young people go through a lot of sickness and disease. When you talk about traumatic disease, heart attack, they listen. What they call all the traumatic disease that people nowadays experience, even their parents, their grandparents, going through old age, sickness, and death, dementia, injury, sickness, especially cancer nowadays, very common, stroke. It brings about a lot of suffering. So we have to use modern terminology. Like you talk about separation, they cannot understand what you mean. But you talk about divorce, now they understand. Relationship failure, they understand. Now a lot of young people, they look for psychiatrists. That's why that career can actually make a good living if you are in that line. Because there are a lot of mentally sick people. So all this, you have to use different terminology to let the younger generation understand. Like that with people whom you don't like, you have to talk about career, When you talk about career, then they can understand you much better. So all these are the realities of life and existence, leading to prevalence of suffering when you don't have the Dhamma understanding, when you grasp, cling, attach and hold, and when you develop all the craving, the wanting, the desire, the sensual desire, kama tanha. So these first two noble truths already is so powerful, and you can check any aspect of life within existence, mundane. They are not apart from the eight reality. The eight reality cover everything. If it's not in the first seven, the final summary, it has to do with your five aggregate form of mind. Through Sakayaditi, you grasp and cling. That will cover the rest. Then the third noble truth is the best. What is the third noble truth? What did the Buddha say? Yeah, you all learn the traditional Theravada one. You only know about dukkha, samudaya. This one is under samudaya, cause or arising of suffering. Then cessation of suffering, nirodha. Then magga, path. But the real third noble truth is, this one, the Buddha says, suffering need not be. Need not be. Because this third noble truth says enlightenment in the here and now is possible. So if I know enlightenment in the here and now is possible, then my problem is gone, isn't it? I have no more issue. But then, here, the Buddha, when he himself is fully enlightened, he can tell you this. But he hasn't teach you how to develop the cultivation to realize this enlightenment. So that's why there is a fourth noble truth. And this fourth noble truth covers the rest. So he said there is a path, noble eightfold path. If you cultivate it, it will lead to the end of all suffering. And this is the most important. That's why a lot of people tell you enlightenment in the here and now is possible, but they never teach you how it can be done. The Buddha different. He actually continue to explain how it can be done. So if you look at this Four Noble Truths, which one is mundane? The first two Noble Truths is that this one explains to you all of the mundane aspect of life. Mundane aspect. And this two is supramundane. Because this one will lead you to the realization of the unconditioned, which is beyond thought, beyond mind, which is not within the conditioned world. So now you understand how all of life, mundane and supramundane, can be understood just because of this Four Noble Truths, which is the essence of the Buddha's teaching. And he summarized it so well. No one, at that time in 1971 when I got the book, when I first saw the Four Noble Truths, this was very vivid to me. I said, no one can actually do it. Even I myself, at that time, I told myself, if I have awakened to his teaching, I cannot summarize it so well into Four Noble Truths to cover everything. Impossible. I said, he must be the real one. That's why after 1971, I never searched. I never looked at other religion. I just want to understand this teaching. And that's how I came to develop all this affinity and understanding, because of my nature's past, cultivation and all those things. So with this, you can see a totally different understanding of what the teaching is. It's no longer the theoretical, understand or not? Dukkha, samudaya, nirodha, magga, they call this the path. Suffering, the cause of suffering, and this one is the cessation of suffering, means enlightenment in the here and now, beyond thought, beyond mind. the form and mind cease. Even the pure awareness also cease. Then this is the path that leads to the enlightenment. Means the meditation is this one, Noble Eightfold Path. Well, if you cultivate this, it will lead to the end of all suffering. You meditate for what? To end? To end what? To end all suffering, isn't it? That's why this is the meditation, understand? So whatever you do, if it doesn't lead you back to the Noble Eightfold Path cultivation, that is not the meditation as taught by the Buddha. And the other proof is, in the Parinibbana Sutra, before the Buddha passed away in the Parinibbana, he told Ananda and the last person who met him, he said, because that person want to know, so many teachers teach about enlightenment, which one is the real one? The Buddha explained to him very wisely. He said, as long as the world continue to have this Noble Eightfold Path teaching, the world will not be without Aryas, enlightenment. That's why this one is the meditation. Understand? Not all the words that you all get attached to, vipassana, jhana, this is the one. Whatever you realize, if that wisdom cannot transform you to have this embodiment of the Noble Eightfold Path practice, then how can you be an Arya? Understand? These are the noble qualities of an enlightened being. They will have right view, right understanding. Means they are not deluded. They understand truth. Whatever that explains the way things are is the truth. What is that reality? Like the Buddha said, whatever arises, there are causes and conditions behind. And this is the reality. And all these causes and conditions are the essential Dhamma that he has taught. That's why his teaching is very powerful. Then from that right view and right understanding, when you understand the three spiritual law right view, Kama Niyama, Chitta Niyama, and Dhamma Niyama, then you understand life. You understand his teaching. That's why with this, it will condition the right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, and your four right effort, including right mindfulness and right samadhi. That's why without this, you cannot awaken. No way. Okay? Okay, that part I covered already. Yeah? Oh, we are almost 4:15 already. Yeah? Okay, another 15 minutes Q&A. Yeah? Anybody wants to ask any question or share anything or add on to this, you can, yeah? While I have a drink. Don't tell me nobody got any question. Huh? Either you fully understood or you don't quite understand. Brother Wong, I think he said in the retreat he got a lot of questions. Yeah, pass the mic. Yeah. Make full use of this session. Huh? Anything you want me to explain further or elaborate on, you let me know.
Brother Teo, I look into your explanations on the Third Noble Truth. From us when we are, from my background, saying that it is a truth on cessations of suffering. But really what struck my mind just now when Brother Teo said, that you need not be suffering.
Yeah,
there
suffering may
out.
not be, but that is the essence of the Third Noble Truth.
Yeah.
If enlightenment in the here and now, but there is a noble truth of this cessation of form and mind, means enlightenment in the here and now is possible, means I don't have to suffer. So what people make mistake is, when I ask people what is the first noble truth, you know what they tell me or not? Life is full of suffering. Dukkha lah, suffering lah. That's why sometimes other religions make fun of Buddhism. He said, what you study? You study suffering. We study love, compassion. That's why they attract more followers and people in the early days. But nowadays, you know how to explain. The Buddha never said life is suffering. Understand? He said, prevalence of suffering. Suffering is everywhere. You don't have this understanding and this teaching. That's why you don't know how to explain. Then when people mention all this, you don't know how to counter to explain. So this noble truth, the third noble truth on the enlightenment possibility is very beautiful. Well, to me, if this is possible, then suffering need not be. Why should I suffer? Understand? Like the Buddha realized underneath the Bodhi tree, if this physical body is not him, the form and mind is not him, then where got problem with old age, sickness and death? Understand? It pertains to this physical body. That's why in the 5 daily contemplation, he said, this body of ours is of the nature to grow old, get sick, and die. For it goes the way of nature. It doesn't belong to you. That's why he awakened. So the reality in the first noble truth, you can get entangled and become afflicted is because you don't understand the third noble truth. You don't understand the awakening understanding that the Buddha has taught us under his teaching. So this third noble truth, enlightenment in the here and now, is possible. It's very profound, very difficult to realize. This cessation of dukkha. You must know the difference now. Cessation of dukkha and the absence of dukkha are two different things now. Absence of dukkha doesn't mean you enlightened now. Understand? No? When you radiate metta, you got suffering or not? You don't have it. When you have good thought, you don't have suffering there. Is that cessation? No, it's a mind state. It's not cessation. It's absence of suffering. But a lot of people in the early days, they don't understand. They tell me absence of suffering is enlightenment. It's because to them, they say, no more suffering. But that moment when you are without suffering, it doesn't mean you are enlightened. Because when you confront the first noble truth reality without understanding, you can fall back into suffering. And that is not enlightenment. So the absence of suffering is not enlightenment. But the cessation, the one that cultivate and go through the cessation, they won't suffer anymore. Because they realize the form and mind is not what they are. And there is another state, which is beyond thought, beyond mind. We call it the cessation. Means when there is the unconditioned, means no more condition. Everything ceases, even the pure awareness nature also ceases. And then you realize the unconditioned. That's how enlightenment in the here and the now can be realized. Okay, good?
Thank you.
Sadhu. Anything else? You want to help Brother Wong? You better put out your hand.
Brother Teo, good
Joey,
afternoon
yes.
and all academics.
Yeah.
I find that today's Brother Teo's presentation from this angle is really spot on.
Yeah.
Because most people, when you talk about Four Noble Truths, the word suffering always exists there.
Yeah.
And it really deters the people from learning more.
Yeah,
you say it's
because,
so boring, nothing but suffering.
Yeah,
but from this angle, I'm sure the younger generation will realize, will be able to...
That's why the real Buddha's teaching, the Buddha Dhamma, is not what the traditional the traditional teachings way of explaining things. No. Because when I read the thing, I understood it this way straight away in the year 71. I don't know why other people cannot understand. Then when I went to the university, when I went to Brickfield, then I listened to all the Friday talk, Sunday talk. Then I realized everybody interpret the First Noble Truth as life is suffering. When I go to SJPA give talk also, you ask so many of them put up the hand at the back, life is suffering. I said, no, who tell you life is suffering? Then when I explained the Third Noble Truth, then only they realize, suffering may not be. And enlightenment in the here and the now is possible. So that pristine beauty and wonders of life that you can live under the phase 3 of Dhamma, Pativeda, that part never explained, understand not? True emptiness is wonderful existence. 真空妙有. After you have realized true emptiness, existence become wonderful. Amazingly wonderful, beautiful. And that is the real teaching. Understand not? That's why to me, I never look back. The moment I heard the Four Noble Truths, my nature rejoiced. And I knew, no need to search already. Well, who can summarize all this into just Four Noble Truths after his enlightenment? At that time, I also knew if I have awakened to this, I also cannot summarize it so well for you all. But to do this, you really need the full enlightenment of a Sammasambuddha. That's why this teaching is very unique. Okay? Joey, yeah, continue.
So
yeah.
from this approach, I'm sure the younger generation will have the interest to study more
definitely.
of the Dhamma.
Definitely, yeah. That's why I actually, at the seminar in Bangkok, when they invite me there in the year 2013, this book, I hope there are some more copies there. This book, very thin book, Success in Life via Meditation Following the Dhamma Way. I summarize the Four Noble Truths teaching, but in a very summarized way because I was given not much time. I think about slightly more than half an hour only to deliver this paper. So because of that, I have to summarize a lot of the thing there. But I cannot explain what I explained to you today. But this is a very good guide. You read this one, you will know the beauty of the Buddha's teaching. But this one, I link it to the success in life. For us human beings, what do you mean by success in life? To be successful in life means what? The usual thing you look for, financial freedom, we mentioned one. What else? What else? Of course, when you are young, you got good parents who can guide you, can actually develop the condition for you to have good education, all those things, then you can excel in academic, isn't it? So that is the first success, when you do well in your academic. Then after that, you come out to work, your career life, career success, when you reach the pinnacle of your career, when you become very successful in the field that you are working on. Then after that, the third success is financial freedom, like what Eng said, so that you can retire early to do the thing that you like to do. Then, what is the next success? Mundane. Means family success. You have a good family unit where there is a lot of harmony, a lot of understanding, where there is no divorce, no quarrel, no misunderstanding, nothing. Where everybody can live life beautifully through understanding, through the Dhamma way. Then, of course, the last one is more difficult, spiritual success. The first four is material success. So spiritual success is to penetrate this teaching and realize the wisdom that enable you to have the spiritual understanding to have the good life. What they call not only success in the mundane sense, but you have the spiritual understanding to take you to the next level. And in fact, in that book that I mentioned, I reached the pinnacle of 5 of them all when I was very young, at the age of 35. Although I retired officially from my engineering career at the age of 46 plus. But at the age of 35, I already have all this understanding. So that is what is possible if you really develop the faith, the saddha, the virya, the sincerity, and just sincerely develop the perseverance to cultivate this. And later on, if you want to understand much more about life, existence, and the so-called enlightenment spectrum, you can go the Bodhisattva way, which will take you very long, but very rewarding, and it's worth it, because when you go through that cultivation of the Bodhisattva way, your understanding becomes very different. If I have not taken that way, I cannot teach you this. To teach you this, you need to go through the Bodhisattva way training to have extensive experience and cultivation and perfection to develop all this understanding. Otherwise, it's not possible, because the basic sainthood way is to develop your own enlightenment in the here and the now, so that it benefits you. But then, after that life, maybe maximum 7 births if you just become a sotapan. Then after that you cease, you become arahant, then you cease. But you take the Bodhisattva way, it can lead to a lot of very different and very wonderful training, which is totally beyond what the sainthood way cultivator can comprehend. But that way is not easy to. You must have the affinity, the condition, the understanding, and you must have great affinity with all these great beings. Otherwise, not easy to find a way. Okay? So, another 1 minute. So, just nice, huh? Okay. Maybe, Joey, you want to summarize? Anything else? No more, huh? Thank you. Okay, let us rejoice, huh? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. So now I will let you all meditate for 30 minutes, huh? So 30 minutes of formal sitting or lying down meditation, and 15 minutes of daily mindfulness training. We are bowing, Dhamma contemplation, reflection, and inquiry within the vicinity of the temple, while in any of the 4 postures. To always maintain continuous mindfulness with awareness within. Okay. You off the light. Off the light, so that you can have your half an hour of awareness-based meditation. I will ring the bell. For awareness-based meditation, you must know the 4 support. The 4 support are, for those who have attended the Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday class, they will know. Otherwise, you read up the 2 books, Path to Nibbana or Ultimate Realization. There is a section on awareness-based meditation. Okay, I will read to you. Page 3, Path to Nibbana, awareness-based meditation. As usual, we will have our half an hour of awareness-based meditation. We will turn off the light for you to proceed with your meditation. Just relax your body and mind and maintain some form of attention. Then we can commence our half an hour of awareness-based meditation. Always remember, awareness-based meditation is to enable us to develop awareness within. There are 4 supports to help develop this awareness-based meditation. The first support is to relax. Relax into every mind state that arises. Just maintain a relaxed body and mind. Don't try to know, don't try to do anything. Just relax and maintain awareness. which is the second support. Then stabilizing the awareness is third support. The last support is trust. This fourth support, which is trust, you only do after you have developed the stability of mindfulness within. Otherwise, the first three support are good enough. That is, relax, maintain awareness, then stabilize the awareness. When you can stabilize the awareness within, you will come to understand another aspect of mind which is beyond the thinking, beyond the thought process, which is just the pure awareness nature within. With that, great understanding and joy can arise within your nature. So we just silence our mind, relax the body and mind, and maintain awareness. Just do that. No need to know or do anything, because the knowing and doing are always by the thought. Make your mind attentive and alert and aware. Just aware, whatever arises, aware, finish. This pure awareness nature within need to be realized and stabilized. After you can do that, your meditative mind, or the tranquil and still mind without thought, will manifest. That is your true mind, your silent mind, your meditative mind. That is the mind that can develop the wisdom, the insight to awaken you. Since this awareness-based meditation can help one realize the awareness nature within, we must therefore develop the stability of it and stabilize it. Then make use of it to cultivate the meditative wisdom and understanding needed to liberate the mind. Realizing this awareness nature within is very important. This is our primordial mind, or your true mind. It existed before creation and is responsible for the arising of thought processes and the mundane mind. So this true mind is the first entity to come out from our nature. We call it the pure awareness nature. To develop the meditative understanding, we need to return all thinking. We are just being aware of it. Allowing the thinking to naturally slow down by itself, we are just relaxing and maintaining awareness is very important. That is, don't try to do or know. Then through that process, the thought loses its ability to move or proliferate further, thus becoming very quiet. Then you just continue to maintain awareness. Whatever arises, aware. Whatever arises, aware. And continue to maintain that silent inner awareness until the thinking mind or mundane mind that you have been using throughout the day starts to slow down, until they become very quiet and very still. Then you will experience the tranquility and stillness of mind, thereby realizing the true mind, the silent mind. The first glimpse of it is already very wonderful, beautiful. When you can stabilize it, you become even more beautiful. After you can be with the pure awareness nature, you can understand a lot of things. Then inquire without thought, who are you? What are you? And what is that nature all about? From then on, you will become very different. You will become more aware and sensitive. The awareness nature makes you more sensitive because you are just aware and no longer distracted by the thought process, the heedless thinking, the mental activity and mental states that arise. When all those mental, mundane thinking or stirring of the mind and emotions ceases, you will realize that true mind, which is so beautiful, so bright, luminous, tranquil and still. There is just a pure awareness nature, bright luminous nature which is beyond thought, beyond mind. That one can see things as they are, can awaken, can insight into phenomena, to realize the three universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha and anatta. Okay, now I will set the alarm for 30 minutes for you to develop the awareness within, so that you can train yourself in this awareness-based meditation. Okay. Okay, you all can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness and inner awareness for as long as you can. Okay, so now is... Okay, then we go into the Hearth Sutta. Hearth Sutta. Okay. We turn to Hearth Sutta, second edition. Okay, this is a very important and comprehensive book. Maybe for those who are new, I will read through the introduction. Page 1. First edition, dated February 2012. Sister Lee Siu-Kek had in the year January 2012 invited Brother Teo to visit Wu Ping Ching Se Vihara, a Mahayana temple. And it was during this visit that Sister Lee had requested me to conduct the weekly Hearth Sutta class, come meditation class, at Wu Ping Ching Se Vihara. The first Hearth Sutta, come meditation class, commenced on the 12th February 2012 and continued till 19 May 2013 for a period of about 15 months. This was followed by the weekly Satipatthana Sutta, come meditation classes. So initially, short notes were taken by Sister Lee and forwarded to me for editing before using it for sharing at the next Hearth Sutta, come meditation class. And this was how the Hearth Sutta, come meditation classes short notes comes about. Many Kayamitta who attended the classes had found these short notes to be very beneficial and rather useful. Hence the reason why they had suggested that it be compiled into a book so that it can also benefit others who had the affinity to receive it. All these short notes can also help those of the Theravada tradition to have a better understanding of the Hearth Sutta teachings of the Mahayana tradition, because Brother Teo had managed to link the Hearth Sutta teaching to all the various essential Dhamma of the Buddha as recorded in the Theravada tradition, so that Dhamma practitioner and cultivator can have a much better understanding of both traditions' teaching and see clearly how they are related to each other. Brother Teo had also managed to link and explain clearly how all the essential Dhamma of the Buddha as recorded in the Theravada tradition come about and how they are connected to each other, thereby making it much easier to understand. In fact, the essence of the Buddha's teaching is just the Four Noble Truths, which we have gone through. And all the other teachings, the essential Dhamma, are spin-off from it. It has always been Brother Theo's sincere intention and wish that Dhamma practitioner, Dhamma friends, spiritual cultivator, seekers of truth, will be able to make use of this enclosed Heart Sutra come meditation class short notes to develop a better and clearer understanding of the Dhamma as taught by Buddha, so that they may progress along the path of Dhamma to become more virtuous and wiser human beings that can be a blessing to all. As these short notes were mostly only important pointers as prepared by Sister Lee for my editing, as such it may not be as complete when compared to the recorded talks. Hence, it's hoped that readers who want to benefit more will listen to the full recording so as to have a clearer and more complete understanding of what has been shared. For those who want to listen to the recording, you can download the talk from our website, which is www.brothertheo.com. Then there is also a link there. You can go to the website and develop the listening. Okay. If you find any problem, you can either contact Brother Chin Hao or Sister Gek. Now, Sister Lee, you cannot contact him. He cannot be contacted. You can contact Sui An. There is an email there too. Okay, then this second edition, which is dated 8 March 2020, 8 years later. The reason for this second edition was noted earlier, to coincide with the need for a second reprint of the Heart Sutra book. In doing so, we have included the following activities to help improve the readability of this book. Correct whatever print error, spelling and grammar mistake detected in the first edition. But sad to note that there are still some printing error because I think the way the words were formatted. Anyway, we are trying to pick up all this so that the next edition can be more complete. Then, since the first edition's text was aligned to the colloquial speech in the talk, some editorial amendment has been made to the text without distracting from the essence of the talk. Then useful subheading has been added to this Heart Sutta class listed in the table of content to help reader look for the topic that interests them more easily. For this, we should thank Sister Padmasuri and Brother Teo. They actually did a lot, and it has made the book very different. Because the first edition, we don't have the luxury of time to put in the subheading and content page. But this edition we put in, that's why you will find it very easy to look for important Dhamma titles or topic that you are interested in. Then number 4, there is Appendix 8, explanation of the Avijja Sutta. Sutta on ignorance has been added. This was added because after the first edition, in between, we came across this sutta. Then we find this sutta very useful. We are in the year 2017. I developed the website. Some volunteer and Kayamita, they approached me and said, Bertio, now digital era. We should make our own website. So I told them I don't have any experience. But luckily, Brother Chin Hao, the sister, I think it's in that line. Then later on, my daughter also in the IT line, they help out, and together with Sui An, being electrical engineer, I think they know quite a lot. Then the most important was Sui An got a boss, Brother Lau. He is an expert. So he has done a lot of website for other Buddhist societies and other people. And because of that, the causes and conditions arise. Then that website come about. And when I was doing that website, I was asked to write about this website. What is this website all about? So I summarized everything. Then I realized that this Avijja Sutta, for no any apparent reason, it just popped out in the internet when I was preparing this. Then I realized this sutta is so wonderful, so much thing inside there, and complete the explanation of why. But there was a Kayamita who asked me this question. In the four foundations of mindfulness, why did the Buddha say, if you cultivate these four foundations of mindfulness for 1 week, or for maximum 7 years, I think, then reduce to 1 year, then 1 month, then finally 7 days, sincerely and properly, you will realize at least the enlightenment of becoming an anagami. If there is still a little bit of fetters left, otherwise you will realize arahantaship means no more 10 fetters, all rooted out. So at that time, before I saw this Avijja Sutta, I told her, the way I replied to her was, I said, there is a reason, because otherwise the Buddha won't mention it that way. Then when I saw the Avijja Sutta, the 10th step, then I realized there was where the answer lies. That's why under this edition, I added the Appendix 8. Then I actually rewrite the answer to that question by adding a bit of the Avijja Sutta to complement it. That's why it's very useful. Then number 5, the Appendix 6a, which is a Trinity triangle drawn to understand cultivation, especially awareness-based meditation and thought-based meditation, how to link it to our pure awareness nature. And from there, how the thought-based move on one direction and the awareness-based move on the other direction. Then how, towards the end, you connect the wisdom that arises from the direct seeing via the awareness-based meditation to transform you into an enlightened being. That's why you can live this enlightened life of noble ones. So all this become very beautiful and very clear. But there may be some who may think Trinity is a Christian word or teaching, where they also have their Trinity explanation in their teaching. But don't worry about that, because this one got nothing to do with that type of Trinity. This Trinity is just a triangle. Later on you will understand. Then there is this acknowledgement. It is the donor's sincere intention that the Heart Sutra come meditation class short notes, second edition, be given free to all those who are interested and have the affinity to receive them. I like to take this opportunity to thank and rejoice in the generosity and wholesomeness of all those Dhamma friends and Kayamitas who had donated and help out in the compilation, typing, formatting, proofreading, etc. to make this free distribution of Dhammadana possible. Actually, a lot of Kayamita help out. By the power of these merits or wholesomeness, may all beings be well and happy, free from all mental and physical suffering, harms and danger, and may there be love, peace and joy deep within their hearts, so that the world will be much more peaceful with greater harmony always. And may it also pave the way for there to be causes and conditions for Dhamma friends who had donated or helped out in one way or other to realize their good and noble wishes or aspiration soon as possible. With metta always, by Brother Teo. So this was written on the 8th of March 2020. You all can rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So all these books and print material, they are sponsored by our Kayamita Fund. So if you are part of the Kayamita, then you get to partake in this wholesomeness. The Kayamita Fund not only sponsor all this print material, everything that I use, like this whiteboard, this chair, this table, no, table is from the temple. Then all of your, like this morning's puja, the fruits, all the puja material, they are from our Kayamita Fund that donated to the common fund, and the common fund for this retreat actually sponsored them all. And the understanding behind the use of the Kayamita Fund and the common fund for spiritual trip and meditation retreat are very unique and very beautiful. This is to help all Kayamitas develop the merits, the wholesomeness, including those who didn't join us, but they have contributed, they are part of our Kayamita, and our Kayamita Fund donated the bulk of it, even for this retreat, common fund and all those things. So these are the understanding. Okay, now we go to page 5. First lesson of the Heart Sutra class. Can I get somebody to help to read? Manyan. Okay. Tammy, I forgot. Last retreat, Tammy not around, now Tammy back. Tammy, sadhu. Your silent your mind, maintain attentiveness. Then listen attentively. Don't try to make notes if you can. You just listen attentively. But all the notes are inside the Heart Sutra book. That is recorded. Why you worry? You go back and listen again. It will benefit you more. When you listen or when you read through, you want to make your own notes, you can. Where everyone is different, you have your own way to develop the understanding yourself. So not to say I forbid you from taking note. No, don't get me wrong. What I want you to understand is, if I let you take note while I share, you actually will not listen. The art of listening is to listen attentively, because when you are busy trying to write notes, you will miss out a lot of things. But it's up to you. You find that still useful, you want to do it again, you go and do it. Later on, you will come to understand what I mean. Huh? Okay, tell me. Continue.
Good evening, Brother Teo and all Karamitas. So we go from the first page, number fifth page number 5. Okay. Short notes taken during the talk for sharing. Part 1, Introduction 1.1. Definition from www.answer.com Library, Religion and Spirituality. Paramita, Sanskrit crossover. In Mahayana Buddhism, paramita means a perfection of virtuous quality practiced by a bodhisattva in the course of his spiritual cultivation. Prajna, Sanskrit, or Panya, Pali means wisdom. 1.2. The heart of Prajna Paramita Sutta. When Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva was practicing the profound Prajna Paramita, he illuminated the 5 khandhas or aggregates of form and mind and saw that they are all empty, and he crossed beyond all suffering and difficulty. Sariputta, form does not differ from emptiness, emptiness does not differ from form. Form itself is emptiness, and emptiness itself is form. So too are feeling, connection, formation, and consciousness. Sariputta, all Dhamma are empty of characteristic. They are not produced, not destroyed, not defiled, not pure, and they neither increase nor diminish. Therefore, in true emptiness, there is no form, feeling, connection, formation, or consciousness, no eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, or mind, no sight, sound, smell, taste, object of touch, or Dhamma, no feel of the eye up to and including no feel of mind consciousness, and no ignorant or ending of ignorant up to and including no old age and death, or ending of old age and death. There is no suffering, no accumulating, no extinction, no way and no understanding and no attaining. Because nothing is attained, the Bodhisattva true reliance on Prajna Paramita is unimpeded in his mind. Because there is no impediment, he is not afraid, and he leaves distorted dream thinking far behind. Ultimately, Nirvana. All Buddhas of the 3 periods of time attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi through reliance on Prajna Paramita. Therefore, know that Prajna Paramita is a great spiritual mantra, a great bright mantra, a supreme mantra, an unequaled mantra. It can remove all suffering. It is genuine and not false. That is why the mantra of Prajna Paramita was spoken. Recite it like this. Gate gate para gate para samgate bodhi swaha.
Okay, thank you. So for those who are basically new and Theravada based, you have not had any understanding of Mahayana teaching, or you may know a bit of it. Oh, Bunfi is here. Sadhu, welcome, Bunfi. Come. Glad that you make it before 5:30. Otherwise, we have to request for the key to open the door. Just nice, don't worry. All recorded. You can listen to them when it's out. So those following on Zoom also, they will be able to have the recording shared with them. Okay, so now I will continue. So as I explained just now, this Mahayana teaching, especially on the Hearth Sutra, is not easy. Off the thing first, tell me. Oh, who is holding the mic? Oh, Chin Hao. Oh, then off the mic. No need. He can off there one. Okay, is it okay already? Good. So, if you have not developed much understanding of it, then Hearth Sutra, as explained in the Theravada tradition, may appear very confusing to some of you, especially those who are very limited in their understanding of Mahayana teaching. So to them, they start to doubt. In fact, I came across many Dhamma practitioners, especially from the Theravada tradition. Then some even, they try going into Mahayana, then they find it so difficult to develop the progress. Then they start to doubt the teaching, then they switch over to Theravada. Then later that person become a monk too, of the Theravada tradition, from Mahayana over to Theravada tradition. So there are many of these. So in order to avoid confusion, because this is a topic that is not easy to understand, but because of my unique past cultivation and understanding, I can see clearly that there is no difference. The two teachings are in fact the essence of the Buddha's teaching, and both has its pro and con, how it comes about and how it manifests. Especially this Mahayana teaching about the Hearth Sutra, because it's often mentioned. A lot of people doubt this teaching when they heard like what we've gone through. Form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. And in fact, form itself is emptiness. Emptiness is itself is form. So it's like a lot of confusion. The pure Theravada tradition practitioner or cultivator, they will have this doubt. And sometimes they express it, He say, how can form be empty? Solid form, everything is so real. Why you say empty? Then they cannot comprehend what has been taught, because the traditional thought in the Mahayana seldom explain the meaning with that clarity and lucidity that ordinary cultivator can understand. So because of that, I wanted to do this. I want to link the two teaching, Mahayana and Theravada, so that people understand that basically is one teaching. Later on in the Hearth Sutra sharing is mentioned, so I no need to go into that. But what I want you to develop as understanding is, I base it on the commentary by Master Xuan Hua, the Hearth Sutra book. And that book, he used the translation from his Dhamma rhyme, City of 10,000 Buddha, one fortune. And they have the translation committee and all those things. So they have their own English terminology. So these five aggregate of form and mind that he shared, he used different terminology from the Theravada tradition. So Theravada tradition, the five aggregates, they use the traditional English word, feeling. Vedana translate as feeling. This one remain the same, no different. But for the second aggregate, sanya, which is perception, this is Theravada tradition. But Xuan Hua side, they use another terminology. They use the terminology as cognition, C-O-G, is it? They like to use this word, cognition. Then after that, the third one is sankhara. So this one, sankhara, The Theravada tradition has a lot of English equivalent word because they cannot define this term Sankhara as per the Buddha's meaning. So they try to have 5 or 6 of these English equivalent words, and yet it doesn't fully define it. Anyway, we just put it down. First is the most common, mental. Mental what? Activity and formation. Activities and formation. Then, what else? What else? What else? Mental state, mental intention. Mental intention. Mental intention. Mental activity, mental formation, mental intention, mental states. Then, what else? That one is I add on. In the Theravada, they do that. Volition is mental intention, yes. So volition is under this one, mental intention. Very good. Volition. In fact, this mental state covers a lot. Your whatever mind state. So this one covers most of the thing. Mental activity, mental formation, mental intention, mental state, and what else? Never mind. If you can recall any other term, you add in later. But as I have explained just now, everything that your mind can do is Sankhara, including Vedana and Sanya. Because if you read Abhidhamma, they will tell you Sankhara got 52. It's actually 50 plus feeling and perception. That's why it's 52. So this one, I think Xuan Hua used another English word. Mainly is mental activity. You turn to page 5. So here, Xuan Hua used the term, formation. Mental formation. He just used the word formation. He even omitted the word mental. He just used this word, formation. So you have to bear in mind when he said cognition, he means perception, sanya. When it's mentioned formation, he means sankhara. Okay? Then the last one is consciousness. This one remains the same, no different. So this one is vijnana, or what we call consciousness. So like I explained earlier on, to understand the mind, then the last one is the form, rupa, form. Both also same. So this form, there are 2 types. For the first aspect is physical body, and the second aspect is external form. External form. So the first aspect of the 5 aggregate of form and mind, the rupa is physical body. So this is first aspect. And this one is second aspect. So according to the Buddha, for us as human beings, he can summarize us as the 5 aggregate of form and mind. And the reason why he wants you to understand it this way is so that you can understand clearly who you are, what you are, and how you function as a human being. And this is how his teaching come about, how he make his teaching unique. As we all know, during the Buddha's time, 2,600 over years ago, science and maths or technology or the education system is not so advanced. So to explain to people about the mind, the psychological aspect, the psychological mental thinking, and the true mind is not easy because they don't really have the words and the understanding at that time. So what he did is he simplified things and make it very simple. Like the whole of the elements, we know through physics and chemistry that there are so many elements within nature. But he just break it down into the 4 elements, simplify. Then he used it in his teaching. For the mind, it's the same. Instead of understanding the whole psyche, or what we call psychological process and thinking of the thinking mind, he break the mind into these 4 aggregates. These 4 are the aggregates of mind. So like I explained just now, to understand the mind, we have to ask ourselves, what can our mind do? Okay? So now, you will understand why the teaching has been broken down in this way. The most obvious is, your mind can feel, isn't it? What is feeling? Pleasant, unpleasant, hot and cold, or whatever sensation, we call it sensation, good feeling, bad feeling, neutral feeling, or whatever feeling. That is one of the ability of the mind. Okay? Then, what else can your mind do? You can perceive things. Whatever you see, you hear, you smell, you taste, you tactily feel or think, you can perceive it. Understand? Like my voice, you can perceive it. The Buddha Rupa, the altar table, all of you, this meditation hall, the flooring, the recording, everything, you can perceive them through your senses, your 6 sense. So this part is also important. That's why the Buddha break these 2 out from Sankhara, understand? Because Sankhara is inclusive of these 2. But these 2 are very important ability of the mind. And this sanya is especially needed because it explains to you how the external sense data or external form enters the mind to develop the second aspect of the 5 aggregate of form and mind as a thought. Means the pure consciousness with its content of consciousness. So Sankhara, everything that your mind can do is the content of consciousness. So now you understand. And the reason why the Buddha add in Vedana is because under the 4 foundations of mindfulness, the second foundation is Vedana Nupassana, mindfulness of feeling, sensation. That's why it becomes like that. So hopefully, with this, you understand the English word that comes into being and how Xianhua adopt those words and how Theravada tradition adopt the other words. But they do not completely define what Sankhara is. The whole of the mind consists of 2 minds. And this one, the Theravada tradition hardly teach or mention. They always talk about the 3 words. What are the 3 words that they use to explain mind? First one is what? Dhammapada verse 1 and 2. Mano. So Mano is one of them. Then what else? Chitta, very good. Oh, not bad. Chitta. The last one is what? Vijnanam, very good. Sadhu. These 3, already time, 5:45 already. Oh, never mind. I take a little bit of your rest time. 5 minutes. What is Mano? It's always associated with Dhammapada verse 1 and 2. Mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arises, all things arise. You heard of it, isn't it? That's why there is the mundane mind, mano. That is your thinking mind, mundane mind. So understand this, because they never teach you. So this one is your thinking mind. Thinking mind, or mundane mind. Then what about chitta? Chitta. Chitta is what? You have been using chittanupassana. Mindfulness or what? Content of consciousness. Understand what is emotion? Your whatever mind state. Understand? That's why chittanupassana is mindfulness of content of consciousness. When the mind has greed, aware. When the mind has anger, aware. When the mind has delusion, aware. That's why within chittanupassana, if you are mindful, you can understand. Then the content of consciousness is everything that your mind can do, including your planning, scheming, cunningness, and all those things. Yeah, this is mind's movement or manifestation. So this one is actually the thought. This one is actually the thought. The second aspect of your five aggregate of form and mind. So this thought is actually the pure vijnana. This vijnana is the pure consciousness before the content went in. Then when the content went in, it becomes the thought. That's why in the Paticca Samuppada, avijja paccaya sankhara means what? Dependent on ignorance arises what? What is sankhara? Mental activity is there. Human being, what do? Wanting to know, wanting to understand and experience. What do your teacher in school tell you? Go back and think about it. The other one is thinking. Yeah, now I got it. Mental activity is thinking actually. This one is thinking. So when they ask you to go back and think about it, that is creating thought process, understand not? Sankhara activity. That's why avijja paccaya sankhara. Where do you go when you think? I go to your brain, isn't it? This is memory, understand? Your knowledge, everything that you carry, your views, opinion, conditioning, knowledge, learning, and whatever that you accumulate while you live your life. All of your good and bad memory, wholesome and unwholesome, they are all accumulated. And when you accumulate them, what happens is, this become a problem. Because this is not wisdom, understand? You accumulate your fear, your phobia, your insecurity, and all sorts of rubbish inside there, your wrong view and all those things. So when you use the brain, the memory to act, what happens? Because our basis of acting is memory, understand? Knowledge, understand? That's why acting according to memory is not acting at all. You are acting according to your fear, your phobia, your whatever delusion or insecurity. All of your negative psychological memory, especially your phobia, your sorrow, your lamentation. Of course, sometimes it's your good memories of the good time. They are all memories. So what happens is, you go to the brain. That's why acting according to memory is not acting at all. So this brain is one of your organs, isn't it? Correct or not? Your sixth sense door, your eye, your ear, your nose, your tongue, your physical body, which is the tactile aspect, then your thought process. So this one, to arise thought consciousness, you need the brain. And this is the organ. This is the organ. So like the physics experiment, when there is a switch for you to make contact, what happens? The light bulb lights up, isn't it? Correct or not? So the lighting up of this is just like our physical organ inside our body. And this power bank, the battery, is like your consciousness, which is energy, understand or not? So upon contact, the light bulb lights up means what? Upon contact of your consciousness with your sense bases and the appropriate external sense data, you become conscious. Conscious of what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think. And that is the one that is, we call consciousness, like the light bulb, light up. This process, do you need a God to create? No need, isn't it? It's a nature's process, isn't it? Nature's law, isn't it? So that's why the Buddha say, dependent on ignorance, you want to know, you want to experience, you want to think, you create sankhara activity. So sankhara activity, you go to the brain. So when you think, you make contact with the brain, isn't it? Clear or not? Then you become conscious of what? Mind consciousness, isn't it? That's how your mental consciousness come about. So that consciousness is called vijnana. That's why in the paticca samuppada is avijja paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnana. You understand or not? Then after that, what is the next link? No. Nama rupa, yes. This one Brother Wong will know. Well, he very good in the knowledge and theory of the Theravada tradition. He has been in that field for very long. That's why you want to know anything about Theravada, you can ask him. So, vijnanam paccaya nama rupa. So this one condition nama rupa. And this is your form and mind, understand or not? Your five aggregate of form and mind. But inside the paticca samuppada, this one is the second aspect. Second aspect. So this one is actually your citta. This one is before you put in the content of consciousness. You understand or not? Moral, immoral. When the content of consciousness goes into the vijnana, it triggers off the namarupa, which is your thought consciousness. This is how it happens. If you are mindful, if you are aware, you can see this manifesting. That's why after avijja paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnana, this is where the Buddha say, in the seeing, there is only the seeing consciousness. Means that pure consciousness, like the light bulb light up. You haven't input the content of consciousness. Understand or not? You haven't labeled I see, therefore I am. Understand? Because you associate with what you see. But in the seeing, it's only the seeing consciousness, like the light bulb. But because of your sakayaditi, where is the sakayaditi? Here. You input the egoic mind, the content of consciousness, then you associate with the seeing. That's how you say, I see. Then what you see? Like and dislike. Pleasant and unpleasant sense experience. So this is the first two mental hindrances, sensual desire, ill will, is that. So every time you perceive or see something through your senses, you stir your mind. You create sensual desire, ill will through like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant sense experience reaction. That's why that stirring of the mind is the movement that makes you heedless. Because when you do that, you create mental hindrance. And what are mental hindrance? Mind state that hinders your mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness. Because these are not your spiritual faculty. These are not Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya. These are sensual desire and ill will. It's mental hindrance. It hinders you. Then throughout the day you do that. You become so habitual. Understand or not? So how to meditate? How can you be in the state of inner awareness without thought? Because your mind that reacts to sense experience continuously create all this like and dislike, which are the sensual desire and ill will, the first two mental hindrance that hinders your mind from entering the meditative state. That's why they cannot meditate. So what they do, they need method, technique, and object of meditation to fix the mind, to prevent it from wandering off and creating the mental reaction through ignorance, through sakkayaditthi. And this is how the mundane mind becomes heedless. This is how the mundane mind fails to develop the meditative mind, which is your pure awareness nature without that, within, without thought. Now you understand? Yeah? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So this three mind is very important. But you ask Brother Wong, Theravada tradition, have you studied this? Word, yes, but they never explain to you. Yeah. So now you understand. Yeah. Okay, with that, I better end. Because time's up already.